Hi, boys and girls. We are continuing with our animal classification study. We are currently in lesson 11, but we're actually going to be using activity book page 10.6 today. And we're going to be doing the reading in your reader, chapter 12, Birds. That's the name of the chapter. So go ahead and open up to that chapter. What we have on our assignment to go along with this reading is activity book page 10.6. What you're going to do here is we're going to read this chapter, and as I read this chapter to you, now if you feel confident that you can read the chapter on your own, you can do it on your own. I've given you page numbers here. So whenever we get to this page number, for example, on page 98, you are going to want to listen for are birds vertebrates or invertebrates. Maybe you already know the answer, but you want to listen for it in the reading and watch for it. To find out if they are warm-blooded or cold-blooded, that answer is going to be on page 100. You're going to write your answers in the boxes over here. Some of them are going to be one-word answers. Some of them are going to be more than one-word answers. For example, what birds eat, that could be sort of a list of things. So I need you to use really neat handwriting. If I cannot read your work, boys and girls, I cannot give you credit for it. So I want you to be writing as neatly as you can. So I'm going to start reading on page 98. And again, if you want to try and read it on your own, go for it. But on page 98, we're listening to find out if birds are vertebrates or invertebrates and where birds can live. So listen as I read. Yoo-hoo, over here, it's Rattenborough. So far, you have learned about the following groups of animals within the animal kingdom: mammals, reptiles, fish, and amphibians. Do you remember all of their characteristics? Do you remember that we said that fish were the largest group of vertebrates in the animal kingdom? Well, today we are going to talk about the second largest group of vertebrates, birds. Birds belong to a group all their own. Birds, like all living things, are highly adaptive, meaning they can survive in many different habitats. You can find them in deserts and in the coldest places on Earth. Many love forests. There are only a few birds found way out to sea, many miles from land. But if you are out in a boat only a few miles from land, you may see many seabirds, such as seagulls. So we found out if they are vertebrates or invertebrates, so write your answer in here. And we also found out where they can live in that second paragraph. So stop the video, go back in the text to see where they can live. Now we're going to be looking at page 100. Warm-blooded or cold-blooded is one thing we're looking for. What all birds have and what is covering their body covering. Those are the three things we're listening for on page 100. Stop the video if you want to as we're reading and come on back so that you can fill in your answers. Like mammals, birds are warm-blooded. Many birds migrate when the seasons change. In late fall, they fly in groups called flocks from colder places to warmer places. Then in the spring, after winter is over, they migrate back to the place where they were in the fall. Birds are the only animals besides some insects and bats that are able to fly like an airplane. All birds have wings, but not all birds are able to fly. Penguins are probably the best known birds that do not fly. Penguins make up for not flying by being great swimmers. Ostriches, the largest of all birds, can't fly either, but they sure can run very fast. They also lay the world's largest eggs. Besides wings, all birds have two legs and a mouth without teeth called a beak. So they all have two legs and a beak. A key characteristic of birds is that they all have feathers. So In that part where what all birds have, there's several things you need to write down in there. Feathers help these warm-blooded animals fly and help them maintain a constant body temperature. Bird feathers come in all kinds of colors and sizes. A bird's feathers are also called plumage. Peacocks have the fanciest plumage of all. You can see that on page 101 in the picture. Peacocks, they like to show off by fanning their long, colorful feathers. So you should be able to answer if they're warm-blooded or cold-blooded. You should be able to give me a list of 1, 2, 3, 4 things that they all have and something that covers their body. Let's turn to page 102. And on page 102, we're looking for what birds eat. Again, this is going to be a list, and how birds use their songs. Most birds are nesting animals. Many birds make their own nest, often high up in the trees or in thick bushes. They use bits and pieces of nature, such as twigs and parts of plants, to create their nest. Other birds build their nests in tree holes. Some bird nests are made of mud. Most birds lay eggs in their nests. Some lay a bunch of eggs and some lay only 1 or 2. The nest needs to be in a safe place to protect the little eggs from the weather and other animals that might eat the eggs. Birds sit on their eggs to keep them warm and safe until the eggs hatch. Once they hatch, the baby birds need to eat. Mother and father birds fly out from the nest and find food for their babies. They fly back to the nest and place the food in each baby's beak. Many birds are omnivores. Some birds eat seeds and berries. Some eat insects. Some, like the great blue heron, eat fish. Hawks eat little mammals. Other birds, like tiny hummingbirds, eat nectar from flowers. All birds drink water. So there's quite a list there of things that you can write down that they eat. Birds are also known for their songs. Their songs are used to attract mates and to claim a place as their own. Sometimes it seems as if they sing because they want to. Maybe they sing just to remind us how beautiful and interesting the animal kingdom is. So in that paragraph, we found out how they use their songs. At the bottom, you're going to write one interesting thing that you learned about birds. So one interesting thing I learned about birds is, and you're finishing this statement. Boys and girls, go back and reread, check your work. I'm looking for good quality work and neat writing.